Good morning, everyone! This is the TSMU fan here, and I've decided to do another video going over my plans for the new year, just like I did last year. So first of all, I would just like to start this off by thanking all of you for the support that I got on my Big Polar Express Christmas video. I was working on that thing for literal months, doing extensive research and editing work. I really put my all into that video, and it's so satisfying to see that it's all paid off in the end. It was really my main focus of work, so I didn't exactly get as much done last year as I would have hoped, but I'm so glad that I had other video ideas planned to keep the channel afloat while I was busy. But anyways, to everyone who watched that video and enjoyed it, thank you so much. Speaking of review videos, let's talk about the other Thomas review videos that I got uploaded last year. I'd also really like to extend my thanks to everyone who watched and enjoyed my Project Tiger Moth video, as that one really blew up when I first posted that. Heck, I even got the creator of the project himself commenting on it, and he provided some fascinating information that I was unaware of when I wrote the script for that video. I'm pretty sure that because that video did so well, it caused my other Thomas review videos to get quite a bit more traction than they had previously had before. My top 5 worst Thomas episodes video did especially well, and I can't believe just how many views that thing got. Also, as of writing the script, my video going over the worst episodes of the classic series is also doing pretty well. So to everyone who watched my Thomas review videos last year, I'd just like to say thank you so much for liking and enjoying them. It's support like that that inspires me to keep going. Now, since the Railway series' 80th anniversary is later this year in May, I might see if I can get a video done in time for it. And let me say that you guys are probably going to really like it. But that's another story. Now, let's use the topic of Thomas to segue into my Trains remakes. Last year, I got quite a few remakes done that I had planned, such as Henry's Hero and Edward the Great. I even completely redid my Oliver Owns Up remake, since that one unfortunately got hit by Kappa.
Bother, said Thomas.
I didn't exactly get a start on the Railway series adaptations that I had planned since I was so busy with the Christmas video, but I should have a lot more time to get them to a finished state this year, so be on the lookout for those. Now, since Trains is a video game, let's segue to my gaming playthroughs. In terms of gaming playthroughs, I managed to finish up Pokemon Violet's DLC, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and I even got a start on Indigo Park and Sea of Stars. My Indigo Park video in particular seemed to do pretty well, surprisingly, and I'm really looking forward to recording Chapter 2, which I've heard will be releasing around Christmas of this year. So be on the lookout for our return to Indigo Park, where things aren't always as they seem. And also, be on the lookout for me playing through the new chapters of Deltarune that are going to be coming out, as I think I've heard that those are also going to be releasing this year. I really can't wait to see what else awaits us in the Dark World, and I hope you guys will enjoy it as much as I probably will. Anyways, let's talk about Sea of Stars a bit. I didn't exactly get as much done with that game as I could have last year, and that is both because of, again, the big Christmas video, and because of something that I will explain in further detail later in the video. I do have plans to finish up the game this year since I'll have a lot more free time on my hands, so be on the lookout for more episodes of Sea of Stars. Anyways, let's move on to YouTube poops. I didn't get as much of a start on the sequel to Jim's and the Trouble with Trico like I would have hoped, but I do have plans to work on that and get it out hopefully this year. I didn't have the chance to get a lot of YTPs done last year since I was so busy with, yet again, the big Christmas video, but I did get a remastered version of my first ever YTP done in time for my channel's 7th anniversary, and I'd say it did pretty well. Now, let's talk about random videos. I managed to get a video up talking about the sequel to the Mario movie that was announced on March 10th of last year, and that did pretty well. My AOSTH OST videos also got quite a bit of notoriety since a YouTuber under the name of Rodrigo Hogos used a good bit of them in this really impressive Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog creepypasta video that he pieced together last year. I even took a suggestion from him and that video did exceptionally well. So I do have plans to do a lot more AOSTH theme videos this year, and I might see if I can get some remastered versions of older themes done in time for the show's 32nd anniversary in September. Now, let me finish this video off with something a little bit more serious. You might remember me mentioning it before if you watched episode 2 of my Sea of Stars playthrough, but there was a gap where I wasn't uploading any videos for a few days after Halloween, and I mentioned this earlier when I brought up Sea of Stars and why I didn't get as much done with it as I would have hoped. I'd just like to explain right here why that was the case. But in order to do that, I'm going to introduce you to someone who had a very big impact on my life, and was someone that I truly loved and cared for. This is Sam. He was a German Shepherd Collie mix, and we first got him on May 17th, 2010. He was a very good friend of mine, and he certainly saw a lot of action when he was living with us. I remember one time where I was taking him for a walk outside and I saw a snapping turtle. Sam started barking at him, and this was when I was younger, so if I hadn't been walking Sam at that moment, I probably would have tried to see if the turtle was friendly. I definitely would have found out the hard way. They don't call them snapping turtles for nothing. Anyways, Sam was a very sweet dog and loved to meet new people. But over time, as all animals do, he got older, and even in his old age, people still commented on how Sam still looked like a puppy. However, as he started getting older and less energetic, I knew that an inescapable fate awaited him. It all started one day when I was in my room, and my brother came in and told me that Sam was stumbling around, almost like he couldn't support himself on one side. Me and my family were of course very concerned, and for a moment, it almost seemed like it was the end of the line for him. But Sam persevered and kept going anyway. However, we didn't know that this would mark the beginning of the end. After this, Sam stopped eating his normal dog food, so we had to find some different food for him. He kept having accidents inside the house that we would have to clean up. And then, the worst thing imaginable happened. On the day before Halloween, my mom came home from work and found him trapped on the floor of our dining room and had hurt himself trying to get up. He started getting better towards the end of the day though, so we assumed that he was fine. But then as I went to bed, I heard whining and a feeble bark, but I didn't go out to check since I saw my dad already going out. Later, I figured out what happened from my mom. She told me that Sam got stuck again, this time in the kitchen, and notified me that his back legs wouldn't support him anymore. And on November 1st, my mom told me that someone would have to be with him and hold his back end up in a sling outside because his back legs wouldn't work anymore. That someone would need to stay at home with him at all times because he couldn't stay at home by himself anymore, which is something that we couldn't do. And she told me that in the mornings and at night, he would get disoriented and couldn't see and would bump into stuff. And then the unthinkable happened. That night, Sam had a really bad seizure, and it was so bad that the next morning, we had to take him to the vet. As we were taking him in, he ended up having another seizure, and when we finally arrived, my dad had to carry him inside. We arrived inside the comfort room, and everyone gathered around Sam to pet him one last time and say their final goodbyes. The doctors came in and put the final shot inside him, and on November 2nd, 2024, I lost my dog. We had him for a whopping 14 years, which is the normal lifespan for a dog of that type. Losing Sam hit me hard, but I'm so glad that he persevered and stayed with us for as long as he could. My grandma told me that Sam must have loved us very much to get through everything that he had experienced. And I noted that even when the doctors put the final shot inside him, he never closed his eyes. He kept them open, looking at us one final time before he crossed the rainbow bridge. Because of this, I decided to take a break for a little bit to mourn the loss of one of my very best friends. Sam might have left my life, but he will never leave my heart. He truly was man's best friend. Now, I hate to end this video on such a dour note such as that, so again, I would just like to thank all of you for all the support that I received last year. You guys are all awesome, and it's your support that keeps this channel going. Anyways, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you guys had an awesome Christmas, and I hope that you will have an amazing 2025, and I'll see you all in the next video. This is the TSMU fan, signing out. Special thanks to my Patreon supporter, Master Painter, and I give an extra special thanks to those patrons of mine who have chosen to remain anonymous. If you'd like to learn how to get your name at the end of every new video that I upload, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Link is on my channel homepage under my channel description.